Dan George with Sonny Baker. Sonny, you well?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Tell me just a little bit about how you're looking forward to the season, your first season with Hampshire.
Yeah, should be good fun. One of my main reasons for moving here was from a learning point of view, and bowling at the other end to guys like Kyle Abbott and just having the wealth of experience here. And then Barks, when he's back in, it will just be great to learn from those guys and hopefully progress my own game, so it'll be good fun.
How much time have you spent here? The Utility Bowl is, it's quite a spectacle, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely right. I mean, when I was first having conversations with Vincey and Chalks and trying to weigh up whether I was going to come here or not, just staying at the hotel and then, just looking out at the ground was like, wow, okay, this is proper. So yeah, I mean, the facilities here are fantastic. Obviously got the second team ground right next to it, which is a massive selling point. And yeah, groundsmen have looked after us so far, so hopefully it stays that way.
Tell me a little bit about your journey at Hampshire so far. You signed at the end of last season. We're just chatting a little bit about it there. Just talk to us about your early impressions and what you've made of it so far.
Yeah, loved it. All the guys have been really supportive. They know, I walk around my notebook most of the time, so if they've got anything to say, normally I'll note it down. So that's been good to speak to those guys, and they've been very understanding with that. And Abbo and Barks particularly have given me a lot of their time so far, even in just casual conversations. Whether Abbo's been at mid-off, Barks been chatting to me in the gym. It's been really good to learn from those guys, and Pop obviously as a bowling coach as well has been really fantastic, and look forward to progressing with them. It's been good.
You've only played one first-class game so far, and you've already caught the eye. Just before we kind of get into it, tell us a little bit about how that experience was for you.
Oh, awesome! I mean, I loved it in Australia. It was fantastic. And Fred similarly was really supportive, and loves that I just want to bowl fast, so that's a great thing for me. And yeah, really enjoyed it. Obviously skill is now the main progression, so I want to keep my ball speed up and just gradually develop the skills that hopefully I can learn with guys like Abbo and Barks, as I said, and Pop, and but loved it.
With a skill like fast bowling, for someone that isn't as familiar with cricket, how do you work on your game like that? Is it speaking to those pros? Is it work in the gym that kind of helps to develop that aspect of your game?
Yeah, both. So I did quite a lot of work with a guy called Aaron Lewis in Australia, did loads of rehab with him, and he's really helped from that perspective and give me some drills and stuff that I keep progressing with as I go, which has been fantastic. And it's just balancing that alongside games or competitive training, so trying to manage your workloads in terms of not bowling too much, or also bowling enough if you've got a lot coming up, so you don't spike too much. So the main thing is just balancing those two out and trying to make sure I get enough skill work in alongside the games, so I can develop, not just play and be ready for just the next game and just the next game. It's trying to think long term as well. So the guys have been really good with helping me balance that out.
And you've impressed already, like I said, with that one first-class game, and some people are already saying maybe on England's radar. Is that, have you got ambitions to play at that level? Is that something you seriously, want to compete at?
Well, I mean, who doesn't, right? Like, everyone wants to play for England, of course. And I'm a very ambitious guy, and I make no apologies for that. But we'll see. As I say, selection's not in my hands. There's nothing I can do about it. Obviously, delighted to have been offered a development contract, which has been fantastic. Really grateful for the opportunity. But yeah, from a selection standpoint, that's not really for me to say. Nothing to do with me. All I can do is control what I can do, get through the championship games, hopefully impress, and then progress from there.
Something like that, is that something you discuss with the kind of more experienced heads, how to make yourself, put yourself in the optimum position to be selected for something like that? Is that something you chat to some of the guys about?
I think that's a good question. I think you can get in danger when you start to think about, what do I have to do to get selected for the next thing? As I said, just trying to really take it one step at a time. It's very easy to get ahead of myself, and that's not something I want to do at all. I just want to stay in the moment, keep putting in performances for Hampshire, and whatever comes after that, then fantastic. But that's, as I say, not my business to worry about. I want to worry about the right now.
Tell me a little bit about that injury last season that obviously stopped you playing in the 100 for the Manchester Originals. How frustrating was that for you?
Yeah, gutting. I was trying to do right by the rest of the lads. We only have a limited time on the bowl through before the game, so I was like, I'll get my overs in the morning, make sure the lads have got their bowl through. If someone wasn't playing, I'd want them to do the same thing for me, so then I can just prepare the way I want to, rather than trying to get my workloads in the middle and interfering with the guys who are actually playing. And managed to. Originally, I thought I just tweaked my side and was like, I should be okay. And then I went for a scan, realised I'd had a pull in my external oblique, And yeah, obviously that was a bit frustrating. But then as I progressed and rehabbed, it presented more like a rib impingement, which yeah, obviously is frustrating. But you know, if you're trying to bowl at 90 mile an hour and above, like yeah, you're going to have little niggles, and that's okay. So yeah, it's just getting stuck into the rehab and getting ready for Guyana was my main focus after that. But yeah, it was definitely frustrating before the morning of the first game. That was pretty tough. But yeah, as I said, just getting stuck into the next bit.
Yeah, and that Global Super League experience over in Guyana, I mean, when did you first hear of it? And, you know, going over there, have you ever been anywhere like Guyana before?
No, I'm actually the first person in my family to go to South America, so that was quite cool. But yeah, I didn't really know very much about it. I know that the Lions were doing a trip to South Africa. It was like, oh, maybe can try and compete to get on that, maybe. And then had a discussion with Ed and Killer, who's a bowling coach, and they just decided that perhaps Guyana might be a good opportunity to go and really bowl fast and play some games rather than come over and do some training stuff. And obviously Pop, similarly as bowling coach at Hampshire, was pretty influential on that and just said that was a good option for me. So went and yeah, loved it.
Yeah. Well, from Guyana to Hampshire, not far away from the season starting now, you know, what are you hoping to achieve on a personal note and also collectively as a group this season?
Well, as a group, obviously it's just trying to win as many games as we can, and from a personal point of view, trying to solidify a role in the side. Obviously, as I said, got some tough competition in Kyle Abbott and Barks, obviously, and you know, our new overseas hammer as well looks like a proper bowler. Foz, like JT, got guys around who can do a proper job, and Eddie Jack coming through as well. So just trying to solidify a place in the side, and from a personal point of view, try and put in some performances to win some games, because that's what we're here to do, right?
Yeah. Well, best of luck for the season. Really appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you out there.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.